In case you need to seek permission to speak, you simply have to raise up your hand. Decisions to be taken shall require a move of the motion that will have to be seconded by 2 other delegates. And all the delegates vote on decisions that require voting. The scrutineers are chosen to be taken by the General Assembly, and they will have to count the votes in case of voting on behalf of the Assembly. We expect 12 guests who observe the proceedings, but unfortunately they do not have the mandate to take decisions. The chairman may give opportunity to anyone to speak, but the proceedings are guided according to the standing orders. I wish you the best in the proceedings, and may the Almighty guide us through. I take this opportunity to welcome the chairman to preside over from this moment and officially start the assembly business. Mr. Chairman, you're welcome.
Thank you, CEO. I beg we have an opening prayer from one of the members, Mr. Kasumbakari Umar Mengo, to lead us or give us an opening prayer. Do we have a second microphone?
I'm going to also pray. Most gracious and most merciful, you are Lord, we seek for guidance, prosperity in what we do. We do request you kindly to keep us united, enable us to achieve our goals and success through this assembly. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Kasumbakari. I take this moment to welcome all of you here to the Futsal Session Uganda, second annual General Assembly. As I highlighted to people who arrived earlier, at Futsal we try to be digital. So I believe everyone where you are, you have a number of documents well received on your phone, which we shall be using. These include the agenda of the day, the convocation documents, you have statutes, even an extra strategic plan for Futsal Association Uganda. At this moment of time, I call upon the CEO to take a roll call to ascertain if we've attained the required quorum. CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, members, I request if I read your name, kindly put up your hand for recognition. Mr. Nash Abdul Wahab, Mr. Vega Robert, Mr. Katumba James, Mr. Otieno Ivan Paul, Mr. Henry Collins Kalisa, Mr. Sam Bukirwa, Mr. Tony Suri, Ms. Bakari Aisha, Ms. Namugeni Dolph, Mr. Kabugo Mansour, Mr. Ismail Abbas, Mr. Senganda Jafar, Mr. Murindwa Ismail, and Mr. Suna Sadat. Mr. Chairman, following the delegates present, the quorum is realized for the Assembly meeting to proceed as per Article 28 of the House Statutes.
Thank you, CEO. For further clarity, this assembly is comprised of members. We have 80 clubs that are directly represented here, of which 2 have not yet arrived. But from other membership, we have representatives from Women Futsal. In this case, we have Dorothy and Madame Bakari, who are sent here by UEFA. Then we have members from primary schools. In this case, we have Mr. Rubega Robert and Mr. Jaffa, who has committed to serve with us from Twin Brooks International School. Secondary schools, we have Mr. Katumba from Chitebi Secondary School. Then we have Abdul Nash representing major coaches. Then I think that's the membership majorly. So as per the records, 2 members are not yet here. That is Major Aidenal and Chisenyi. But at least information has it, they're on the way coming. So at this moment in time, we move to the next item on the agenda. The roll call has been done. They have already quoted the article that allows us to have this assembly take place. The CEO has submitted and convened and approved the composition of the assembly. So at this moment of time, we move to item number 4. That is the approval of the agenda. Mr. Lugema Patrick, can we have the agenda on screen? But at the same time, all of us have it on phone. Mr. Lugema, can we have the agenda on screen? It's in the booklet. Just open the very booklet, you scroll down. Keep scrolling, you will see the word agenda. I think now we have the agenda on screen. Well elaborate, but at the same time, in the very booklet you have on phone, which has the word activities of the assembly. I think, Lugema, which page is that? Is it page number? So at this moment in time, hope we've read through the agenda. We did a motion to move it so that we can deliberate further on it. If we have the approval that qualifies to be the agenda for this assembly, then we roll off into further discussions. Yes, Mr. Rubega?
My name is Brother Robert. I propose to move by the agenda.
So he moves a motion that we proceed with the agenda of the assembly. We need a seconder for the... Yes, Mr. Katumba?
Katumba James Secondary School Association. ICK.
So the motion has been seconded, and thus item 4 is approved as the agenda of the day. So at this moment in time, we move to item 5 of the agenda, which emphasizes appointing or nominating of minute checkers. So CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The FAO EXCO proposes the following delegates or members to check the minutes of the second FAO General. To check the minutes of the second FAO General Assembly. Mr. Katumba James from the secondary schools, and Mr. Brenda Robert from the primary schools. And this is according to, this is guided by Article 27, the statutes.
Mr. Katumba, a teacher by profession, and Mr. Rubega. We need the motion to approve them as majorly the minute takers of the day. When these people are presented to the EXCOM approved because they are teachers. So Madam Namgen. So she moves the motion that we have them approved as people to take minutes of the day. So we need a seconder someone to second these teachers to take notes of the day. Abdunash, you don't want teachers to take minutes? Yes.
I have done that for up. I second the teacher.
Yes. So Mr. Rebecca Robert, and you pick out the highlights of this, then later they will be compiled in. So we move to the next item. At least now we are sure whatever is to be noted, just to make work easy for minute checkers. Whoever has an option of saying something, you introduce yourself so that your details are well captured. Next item or agenda item, appointment of scrutineers. Scrutineers are people we need in a case we have an item that goes to the vote. These are people who trust, who will count properly the votes and declare them as they are. So, CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Power Expo proposes the foreign delegates or members to be the scrutineers of this assembly. Mr. Kabuko Mansur from Kampala Junior Team, Mr. Henry Collins Kalisa from Power Futsal Club, and Ms. Namugeni Dolph from the Youth Futsal Association.
So those are people proposed to be judges in case we have an item that goes to the vote. One of them, we have the founders of Parker Futsal Club that plays in the Futsal Super League, Karisa. Then we have Kabogo Mansur, who is commonly known as KJT, or some people know KJT but not the person. So he's around to be part, and Madam Namugeni. So we need a motion to have them approved as people who are to count votes in case we have an item for voting purposes. So we need a member to take a motion so that we move. Yes, Mr. Umar.
I, Kasumba Kali Kumar, Member City Futsal Club. I pass the motion to have them scrutiny.
So he proposes a motion to accept and or allow them to be people in charge of voting. So we need the seconders. We need the seconders. We need the seconders so that we are able to move. Mr. Kalinja Tony.
I turn the Suvi, current Bridge FC. I second them.
So he seconds. Mr. Kalinja Tony seconds that we have the three as scrutineers of the day. So we move to item next. That is an address by the chairman, Futsal Association Uganda. So Mr. Rugema, can I have a brief word from the chairman on screen? Has he project seat? And by the name is Jundi Hamza, the chairman, Futsal Association Uganda. Just a brief reminder, whatever is on the screen, you already have on your phone. That I'm very sure. If you're in this house, you already have it on your phone. But I'm Jundi Hamza, the chairman, Futsal Association Uganda. I began my term last year during the electioneering year. For starters, I welcome you all onto this second annual General Assembly. Specifically, I welcome Mr. Samuel Bachika on this very high table on the extreme left, a FUFA CEO in charge of compliance and all other things in that line. Thank you for turning up for our assembly. He's here to represent FUFA. I take this another opportunity to welcome other FUFA members who are here. Mr. Mutabazi Deo, who is seated in front here from Uganda Beach Soccer Association, and one of the people who inspired me into football administration. Thank you for turning up. I also welcome Madam Bakari from Uganda Women Football Association. Thanks for turning up. She's here as we try to push this game into the women gender. And in this, we shall need to work with them because they are body mandated to see that the girl or the all women enjoy the football game. Special thanks to the futsal league clubs who we always interact regularly, but also for accepting to be members of this noble association. Notable ones, especially the long-serving ones, Park Futsal Club, been with us since 2017. KJT, been with us 2 years now. We have TAB, been with us for 1 year. We have Mengo Futsal, thanks for accepting to be here. We have Kaboa Dream Team, thanks for turning up. Then we have Aska, been with us last year. Special thanks from school representatives, especially primary schools. Mr. Jeffa Senganda, thanks for coming all the way from Chitezi. On a special note, Mr. Jeffa is my teacher with one of my ex-com members, the big man you see on the extreme right, Mr. Gulam. Mr. Gulam is a very good sports person. He played a lot of handball while still in school. Even in this assembly, to introduce to Mr. Jaffa, you have Abdul Nash, still a student of yours. So Mr. Jaffa, thank you very much. And to the assembly members here, because my teacher is an investor in primary school, in order promoting this game, I went and told him, you need to begin in futsal. Since you are our teacher, you can't refuse. And I'm happy to report, within 1 year, he was able to put up a futsal facility at Twin Brooks International School, Chitezi. So thank you very much. I also welcome Mr. Rubega Robert, a teacher from, is it Namirembe Primary School? Mengo Primary School, Namirembe Hill. We have Mr. Katumba, well known to Mr. Deo. He's now at Chitevi Secondary School, and as I report, for them they have begun formally training girls and boys into the futsal game at school. Thank you for turning up. We have the referees, one of the pioneer referees here representing futsal referees, Mr. Mlindo Ismail. Thank you for coming. Then my media friends, I see here Fufa TV, who are our partners in promoting the game. I see here a spokesperson from Uganda Netball, Mr. Kayira. He writes a lot of futsal stories. I also see there is a lady, I don't see her face, but I know she's around. And all the media following online. I just want to confirm if we are live. Mr. Ivan, are we live? Yeah, we are live. You can update other members that, especially that belong to you. We are live on Fufa TV. And I think the YouTube channels. The assembly is live. So to go deep into my address, that's just a Thanksgiving. I take this opportunity to thank my ex-com members. I normally work with almost daily through digital means. Thank you for the efforts. And I thank all the members, especially futsal. I normally tell the people, we agreed as the futsal board and our members, we are free to have a lot of quarrels internally for the good of the game. And this has helped to shape us along the way since 2015. When we began the game, our projection was to have a national team and participate in AFCON 2024. And it's a dream we are still chasing. And to update you members, by this time, at least we've managed to push FUFA, and at least now we have an approved name of the futsal national team men in the names of the Nile Cranes. The story behind the name, FUFA as a body, but Uganda in general, we treasure the crested crane. Now research shows it that the crane in Uganda normally visits River Nile to take water more often than ever. Thus the name, the Nile Cranes. And we are happy to report that the drive is ongoing, and hopefully with the help of clubs that mobilize players, coaches and other people, 2024, we shall be well represented at the CAF Futsal Cup of Nations. So at least we are to achieve that, which was the major milestone. Then, more still, I would like to thank sports bodies in this country, especially FIFA and Uganda Olympic Committee, for enabling us undergo various trainings in order to turn out to be football and sports administrators. Special thanks to Mr. Donny Rukare, who is not here, from UOC, Mr. William Blick, for the hand they extend to see that our administrators keep improving daily. And as I report, a number of club chairmen, at least, and all people who serve in this game have undergone a certificate in sports administration and a diploma course in sports management and administration at UOC. At the same time, FIFA has taken it upon the mantle to see that all our referees are trained, and this very year at least they were able to scoop in the FIFA futsal referees course, where we had around 16 referees trained, and out of the 16, as we inform you now, at least 2 have FIFA badges, and all others now have the FIFA badge that allows them to officiate futsal games in the country. So all of these are done to see that we perform better, represent better, and the country is well represented. In the same vein, I thank FIFA for being able to start to extend funding to our activities. This very assembly, part of it is always funded by FIFA. We normally have funds extended into competitions for the Super League, and the end season, FIFA extended 15 million as prize money. At the same time, FIFA takes the burden of paying all the referees their allowances for officiating our games. So those are some of the highlights that show that we are trying to work with everyone within the sports fraternity to see that we move the game forward. At this moment in time, you will allow me give a few minutes to our special guests to say a word. For starters, I'll call a word from FIFA Delegate Beach Soccer, Mukuru Mutabazi Deo, to say a word to the Congress. Thank you, Mukuru Mutabazi.
Stand up because people I want to address are behind me. The chairman, Futsal Association Uganda, the chief guest, the deputy CEO, Pascal Machika, the executive of Futsal, and their delegates and invited guests. I'm very privileged to be here to honor the invitation sent us by the Futsal Association Uganda and attend the second annual general meeting of the Futsal Association. Futsal and beach soccer is the one sport as per FIFA, and in mention in all FIFA committees and operations, they are taken as one. So we want to do the same in Uganda, to see that futsal and beach soccer also move as one entity for the good of our people. Number 2, I want to thank Hamza and the team, Richard, Patrick. These are life members of the Uganda Beach Soccer Association. They still remain as members of the Uganda Beach Soccer Association because they are founding members of the association. So I'm very proud of you guys have built up an association of this nature and to be visible. Whenever I see your activities, myself, I feel very happy as a person that have worked with you and that have seen you grow to become men and leaders of this association. So I want to commend FOFA for supporting our associations. As the chairman put it, without FOFA, I don't think we as associations can move anywhere now. And there are areas that we cannot as association manage to run, particularly matters of the national team. I've had the positive project of the Futsal national team, which I commend and I think is the right way for people like Hamza and Patrick. You know how we started the Uganda Craze. It was not an easy journey, but we made it, and we are proud that you are part of the founding members that made the trip of the first international competition of the Uganda Craze from Kampala by road to Zanzibar. These two gentlemen are part of that community. The team will see qualifying today. The outcome is not a one-man's journey, but a competition of all these men. So I want to thank you guys and pray that you people on the work as a team. And I'm happy that the chairman is thanking you for being united and critiquing positively for the good of the government. So dear members and the executive officer around Kenya, and wish you the best of celebrations.
If there was a foreign because of. Thank you, Mr. Deo, and we thank you for the mentorship. I call on Madame Bakari to say a word. She's from Uganda Women Football Association. You can give her, it's fine, screen. Mr. Jeffer, help us extend the microphone. It's fine.
Thank you so much. I'm known by Bakari.
Give us the voice, we are not hearing.
I am Bakari Laisha from Mofa. I'm here to represent the Women Football Association group. Actually, I feel so happy to be among the members of this meeting, and I appreciate the work of the chairman of the FAO group. Thank you so much. I only had the one proposal, but it's already announced that Futsal is coming to our organization so that we can make something bigger than that. Thank you so much. I don't think I have much to say today because it's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Bakari. At this moment in time, I call upon FOFA Deputy CEO, Mr. Bachika Samuel.
Allow me to stand. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, the chairman of FAO and the EXCO for this invitation. I was invited some time back for one of your competitions, but unfortunately I got late and I was not able to make it. This time around I had been actually assigned to go to Northeastern for their assembly that's happening tomorrow, but I declined and told me that I've been invited to this assembly as well, and I felt I had an obligation, and also because it's something that is passionate sport to me. I don't know much about it personally. If you ask me, I don't know the regulation maybe, but I believe my discussions I've had with new chairman over the past 2 years, 2 to 3 years, have given me that belief that it's something that we need to focus on as FUFA. Why? Because in FUFA, all our members matter. All our members are important. And just like Mr. Mtawala has just mentioned, Futsal and beach soccer go hand in hand. And we've been big about the beach soccer, and the fruits have been realized. As you know, for now, we are doing well at the continental level. And I believe Futsal will also move in the same direction with the right guidance, because I know you have a good team. The EXCO is a committed team. I have shared a lot of ideas, especially with the chairman, and looked at the strategic plan. And to me, this direction is the right direction. I just want to make just a few comments from the side of my role as President of Governance, because at FUFA we believe the first steps in us being able to prosper whatever we do, to be able to deliver and to achieve all that we set out to do, is having the right governance structures. You might have all the people, you have all the equipment, but without the right governance structures, probably won't be able to get where we want to be. Unfortunately, the perusal of your strategic plan reveals that we are moving in that direction. I know there is a plan for the administrative setup in terms of the physical structure, that is having the right offices and equipment for those offices, as well as the manpower. I've had a discussion with the chairman around the issue of capacity building, and also in that area, I believe we are moving in the right direction. But what I want to emphasize from my side is that let's have, first of all, focus on the structure as the setup of who's supposed to do what in the organization. At that level, then we move into what's supposed to be done. That's the plan. Fortunately, we have the right resource, I believe, in terms of the expo we have, as well as other people that the structures, and also at the club level. So the next big thing there should be the policies and the procedures, which I believe we have planned for in terms of our financial procedures and regulations, which are the headline of December 2021. I'm sure the chairman here must already have done something about that, or has communicated that to you. If not, we communicate it to this assembly. Because it's always been set out to have us deliverable in terms of moving into the right structures. Then, of course, is the issue of accountability. This is very passionate in all that we do. Accountability is mistaken by some things about financial figures and numbers and all that. It goes beyond that. Accountability goes beyond just the figures, but also activities. What have we been able to achieve? What have we done in the period that we promised to do? What have we not done? Why? And how are we going to rectify why we're falling behind? So for me, I believe if we can address this, that will be the first step in the right direction. Obviously, there's also the issue of control. Now, control basically goes hand in hand with stakeholder engagement. Because control is a feedback. In every system, like we know, there is a feedback loop. You don't complete the system processes before you have that feedback. And for me, that feedback now goes into engagement with stakeholders. Stakeholders may be both internal and external. The clubs, the club ownership, as well as external stakeholders, like in this case, we have probably institutions which we work with, schools, which we expect to provide us players who went to the teams. I'm happy to see that Twin Brook is represented here, because when I visited, I had an opportunity my son to play in an academy which had a match against Twin Brook, and I was very impressed by the structures. I talked to Mr. Jaffa here and I asked him whether he had engaged us, because he informed me they're actually going to be the stadium. I think it's supposed to be a seater or 10-seater stadium for football. So I encouraged him to engage FUFA, because they're very passionate about infrastructure. And it's good to know that he's facilitating and business for Futsal. But I also told him that he needs to engage Chairman Lundu, because sometimes people have structures without consulting the people who have the technical expertise. At the end of the day, it's not usable, we're going to compete for purpose, therefore you lose that opportunity. But also as FUFA and as Futsal, you lose that opportunity to finance those facilities for international engagement. So it's a good thing, and I'm happy to see that you're here today. Please continue the good work. We shall support you all we can. But again, in the strategic plan for FUFA, which some of you know already, for the hard trick, that's our strategic plan that's protected to 25. It talks about trying to put up facilities, not only for football, because for us now we look at all our members as one. There's football, there's futsal, and soccer. But how do we get those facilities? We don't have the resources, maybe, in the short term, but we can have engagement with government and also with private investors so that we can be able to have the right facilities in place. Because without the facilities, we will struggle to spread the game. Futsal being unique in its own way, we require particular facilities. Right now, they are concentrated just in a few areas. But we are saying by 2023, we want to spread to at least 8. We're saying 3 out of the 8 regions initially, but we need to have the facilities in those regions. How do we get them set up? We then need to have those engagements. We have to have that advocacy reach out to our stakeholders, both private and in the government sector. Then that brings me to the next issue in terms of how we are going to roll out Futsal to reach out, because the opportunities are there. It's a sport that doesn't require a lot of complicated infrastructure, let's use that word. Yet we have opportunities in terms of the kind of target market in terms of the people can participate in schools, for example. In our strategic plan at FUFA, we are looking at supporting Futsal and reaching the institution of learning, because that one of the easier areas where we can get enrollment. Then obviously, we are also looking at how we can spread to the different regions. We have general secretaries in all these regions who I suggest that as Futsal reach out to and see how we can have engagement so that we can look at the quick wins, the low hanging fruit, as they say, of how to start spreading out this game. It will be a gradual process, but the opportunities are immense. And I don't want us to imagine that it's a very big task for the order. If you have the right plan, and we already have the strategic plan, which I believe we can be able to roll out in the timeline that have been set out. Then the last item I want to talk about is the field of marketing. Because in sport, marketing is very important. But how do we market ourselves? We have to market ourselves using the tools available. Also, we have to look at the community, how to update trend, the ongoing trend. The current trend in marketing now for all big sponsors, to be sponsors, especially the corporate world, they should be that gender sensitive. I'm happy we invited someone from our women association, because the big organizations now try to show that they are sensitive to the trend. And the trend right now is gender. Be it at FIFA, at CAF, and then at the different corporate structures. If we show our gender parity responsiveness, to give us a better opportunity. So as we're moving out there to market Futsal, let's look at the girl child, because that's one of the things that is going to also give us more visibility and more publicity. Let us look at marketing using our tools we have right now. We have a TV. We have a radio. I was just talking to your chairman. I was encouraging him to engage and get slots. Apart from the live coverage, it does have slots for advocacy programs, so that we can put the game out there. People get to know the game. And again, the bit about Futsal. It's a game which anybody can play in any place, provided we have the right tools in terms of the infrastructure and the equipment, the balls, for example. And it doesn't require that much to develop. The talent is out there. It's just a matter of tapping into it. So let us focus on that area as a way of growing the game and giving it the right publicity. And if we do that, I believe all the other things will fall in place. All the idea of the competitions, reaching out the schools, having a national team will crystallize if we use the available tools. And we shouldn't miss this opportunity especially now that we can now market our programs without having to depend on third parties. And trust me, once this game picks up, they'll be coming to us. We'll be overwhelmed by how many people want to sponsor Futsal, how many people want to carry content on their media programs, be it TV, be it radio. And eventually, we shall reap the fruits of what we want. And this being the body that decides and also gives direction, I believe that the direction that is here will guide us and help us move Futsal to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Ourselves, I'm not majorly pointing at personalities. can we start profiling our administrators, our players, our clubs, and the products we have? At FAU, it's a thing we are taking it on seriously, because even FUFA is pushing us to make sure that all our products in form of competitions are profiled well. FUFA will profile the referees, but now with the clubs, if we want to really make this work and go beyond us, all of us must be almost doing the same thing at the same pace and the same time. Via controls, CEO, we are trying to do this. We are trying to be accountable. This is one of the activities of accountability, which is not money, but trying to account to our members. But all of this will make sense if even clubs will go back and try to have this very thing. Then we shall have information from FUFA to FAU, FAU to members, then clubs also its members. Then when all of us do the same thing, then our game will grow. But our major focus at the moment, I will conclude by emphasizing this. Futsal as a game is a FIFA product, but when you talk within our boundary, we are a FUFA product. And the FUFA, through its hat trick, emphasizes particular areas to make sure that futsal as a game of FAU attains. One of them is ensuring we have an international standard futsal court by 2025 for use. That one is entirely to them, but we work with them in the form of identifying people willing to work with us and FUFA. Where do we call upon the members? If you have land and you're a school, you come, we sit, we pass through the guidelines, then the FUFA can extend a hand in making sure we have a futsal facility there, because the major aspect, whatever we're talking of in form of infrastructure, needs land. And FUFA has been calling out to the communities, if you are sure you have land that belongs to you, then as FAU we can link you to FUFA, they take you through the guidelines, then we can have a facility on your land where clearly benefits are known to all stakeholders. You, the landowner, FUFA, the futsal body, and all of us grow the sport. Then another major aspect that is important, especially to FAU and other members, is grassroots growth. At least I've addressed the club chairman, and I'm still clear on this. We want futsal club owners to not only have a men's top flight club. We are copying a concept from where football has grown, and we are on a task to see that we have a draft out where all futsal clubs within the next 3 years have a women or girls team. And still the very clubs must have youth teams. This is creating a pathway. Because when we leave youth to schools, if Mr. Jeff owns a primary school and this kid leaves and joins the senior one, there are higher chances that this kid has nowhere to continue his progress. So we are saying, can all our top flight clubs develop a complete setup? And starting next year, 2023, you'll see all clubs having under 12 boys. So during holidays, as this main league is on break, we shall have a league of the very clubs showing us their young ones. Then 2023, all of them are mandated to have under 12 girls. So we believe within 10 years, we shall have a Parker Futsal Club having teams all the way from under 12. And we believe it is the only way we shall impact change. Where KJT is fully fledged, it is gender sensitive, it has given younger people opportunity, and at the same time, adults. So CEO and other members, it's something we are taking on seriously. Then where do we need UIFA? The communities. We know even these clubs cannot accommodate all young ones. And we are still pushing, Mr. Chairman, we need a league for academies. And when we talk of academies, we are saying both girls and boys. And we are making it simple. We shall do all what takes, work with Uganda Youth Football Association. We start at under 12 still. Then the leagues can grow. But we are saying All other aspects of futsal are beginning with the gender sensitive aspect. Whatever we do for boys must be done for girls and women. So Madam Bakari, where do we need you most? We shall need your supervisory arm in making sure women are playing the game. But where we task you more, we need you to help us develop more women administrators. As a foul, we don't want to see Jonjo Hamza and male executive and administrators addressing the public over a girl playing futsal. We want to see girl and women talking about it. I'm happy to report on our ExCom of 9 members, 3 are women. It's unfortunate, Daphne is out of the country, but in this very group, we have Sumaya Najuko seated here. She's an ExCom member, and one seated at the back, maybe she's shy. So your wife has still help us. Women, bringing women into sport is still a challenge, but we have Madam Najuma Kuruthum, she's an ExCom member. Then at secretariat level, I know at least we have one, and this one is major going to help us in finance. Madam Namuyomba Catherine. You can wave to people. You see, women don't like to be seen, but she's an expert in finance, and she's to help us in a number of aspects you talked about. Still, we have women in the country that have worked closely with us. One of them I would like to thank Madam Namugenyi Dorothy. Challenge is she's multi-talented, but finally I realized she's passionate at coaching. So I hope she's seated there, please wave to people. I believe now it is an area we think we need to use her more, because she can serve anywhere, but me personally, as I observe her works, she's passionate with coaching. So at FAO we are trying to call in a number of girls and women, but they are not easy to pull to sport. They come and run away. So that's why we need the hand. With the Uganda Women Football Association, I think we need to sit, create a task of training more girls. We train many, then the few who stay over time, the number is to grow. Even under refereeing, we have 2 already with FUFA, futsal badges. And as I talk now, I know we have a FIFA test coming up, and one was nominated to Gandhi test the waters. And all I know, she's doing a lot of training. She's a common face called Rashida Adams. At least she has officiated futsal for the last 3 years. And now she's going to test the waters. What is unique about futsal, some of you followed the World Cup. Of the 4 referees that officiated, the model they were using, 2 were women and 2 were men. Meaning very soon FIFA will launch a women's futsal World Cup, I assure. So it's a model we are trying to adopt. We are trying to call in more. If you have a girl or a lady, normally below 25, willing to be a referee, send it through. They are trained. We also try to have the same model, where on the match day we have 2 men referees and 2. Primary schools as we come, as we call upon girls to play, we need to see girls officiating, girls, boys officiating. We start. I know over a period of time, a P5 kid can blow the whistle. 10 years old, we've ever done that. So without saying much, I would like to stop there. That is the word from the chairman. And we move on to the next agenda item, which is item 8. Suspension or expulsion of a member. CEO, want to see if we received the members that qualify for suspension or expulsion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We didn't have any member misbehave or fail to meet the criteria and obligations. Therefore, this item is not applicable. We don't have any member liable for suspension or expulsion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, CEO. Maybe we are still lenient. Our way of doing things, we are training people first. So at the moment, no one is qualifies for suspension or expulsion. But what we normally do when you fail to comply to competitions, you are not licensed to play. But you still come and see what others are doing and improve yourself. So we move to item number 9, approval of minutes. Everyone seated here has minutes. If not, please you alert us to make sure they reach you. Minutes taken, especially in the assembly we had last time. We are glad one of the minute checkers is here, Mr. Kawoya Dinan. And these very minutes presented to you were sent to him some time back to check if what he wrote is well reflected. So he's the only person now who can tell us if what he wrote when we are here is the very aspect represented in the minutes. So Mr. Kawoya Dinan is also a teacher by profession. You need to tell us if it's true. Is there? And a reminder, the camera you see in the room is capturing this event live, and we encourage all people who stand to speak to face the camera, introduce themselves, say whatever they want to say when facing that camera, because people outside there are following us. So Mr. Kawoya, the camera is at the back there, face it, introduce yourself, you tell us if what you wrote is what was represented.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Protocol Observe. Board members, I wish to report that the minutes that we are sharing was preliminary, a true report of deliberations that were held in the last meeting. Thank you so much.
So Mr. Kawoya says he read it through and it really represents, but as I repeat, still everyone has a copy of the minutes. It is a hectic thing, it is normally big. So after hearing from Mr. Kawoya, he has almost moved the motion, and now we call all upon members to second the motion, then we approve them as minutes of the first annual general assembly we held here. So we need people who can second the motion. Or feel free to check through the minutes. Anyone moving or seconding the motion? Mr. Robert? Face the camera. You are seconding the motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Robert. I second the motion proposed by Mr. Kawoya Dinan.
Thank you. Seconded, so we adopt those as minutes for the first annual general assembly. Next item, we are supposed to present to you the activity report of the year. But before we go into that, Chairman Uganda Youth Football Association arrived a little bit late, and we want to give him a minute to address the Congress. You're welcome, Mr. Chiwanuka. You say a word. The microphone is there.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Chairperson and the Futsal Exco, for organizing such a beautiful AGM. This is extraordinary AGM that we have seen. Everyone looks so smart.
Thank you.
I think it's a lesson to many of the other FUFA members for us to take a lead from what Futsal has explored today with this kind of beauty and organization that we have seen here. On behalf of the Uganda Youth Football Association, one, we are very excited to be part of this arrangement and actually be one of the members that is partnering with FAO to make sure we develop the game of futsal. As Uganda Youth, we pledge work together and to make sure that we introduce the under 12 academy league that is going to see these young children, boys and girls, develop their game and develop the technical playing. You know, one of the neat things of futsal is it helps the children to learn more skills and actually increase on the speed and intelligence. We have seen that one. It builds this child morally in terms of brain, in terms of body, in terms of structure. So it allows them to explore so much because they actually work from a smaller space. So we pledge to work with FAO as Uganda Youth to make sure that this game comes down to the children academies and as well comes down to our schools as school owners. I've been speaking with Jafar, and one of the things we have discussed earlier is to make sure partner with FAO to have a schools league. For these children that are in schools to actually have an opportunity to play futsal when they are still young. So for some of us that own schools, we pledge and our association, Uganda Youth and Under Schools Association, to partner with FAO to make sure at least we have a schools league that is going to develop the game of futsal for both girls and boys. Having said all those, I've seen my friend from Big Soccer as well. Chairman, I know this is going to be our partnership to make sure, we take the game of football to another level. We take the game of futsal to another level. This is our time. As FAO, as you are there, as Beach Soccer and any other association, to come down on ground and make sure we introduce the games that we lead to the children at the youngest age possible. So I would like to thank the Futsal Exco and the delegates that are here today. It's very important for us to organize AGMs, but people attending is also another thing. So I congratulate FAO for having all these members that are here. And thank you very much. So you guys clap yourselves. We thank you and wish you a good deliberation for this second meeting. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for addressing the Assembly. As we move into item next, I don't know what is we are moving into item of presenting the activity report. Still we say we have this on our phones, but we need to look at what present it. You will see the title because as you move down. Keep moving. Hope that is the page. So we tried to summarize some of the things we've managed to achieve this very year in a brief, highlighting a number of areas, especially within our strategic plan and in line with what FUFA tried to put up. Our year normally runs 1st July to June 30th. And these activities that we were able to do 1st July last year up to June 30th this very year. However, as some of you heard the chairman youth speaking, I'll try to highlight that truly futsal is a game that develops all people. And in Uganda, we are privileged that we've seen some talent come to futsal, rejuvenate their career, and some we really think we've made them. One of the talents I can proudly talk of was a player at Kabowa Yek, Sebagala Enoch, now at Express. He came played futsal for 2 years, he was picked on, and he has really proved that he's a talent, and we believe whenever we talk to them, they say Futsal taught them to use a smaller space to be able to do and deliver. So on Futsal development, as I said earlier, in May with the FIFA, we were able to have a FIFA Futsal refereeing course, where around 16 referees were trained, of which 2 were approved by FIFA ExCom and FIFA, and now hold the FIFA badge for officiating the game. And now we have even 10 Futsal referees with the FIFA badge that officiate the Futsal Super League, of which for gender sensitivity, now 2 are women. In the area of Futsal coaching, we were able to hold successfully with the FIFA a Futsal local coaching course, in which we had over 25 coaches trained in the game. Around only 8 are officiating in the league. So we believe when we go to schools, we shall share with schools the list of coaches we have. And I know even this very year we're going to have another session, and hopefully next year we shall have a FIFA course in coaching. However, on a good note, still under FIFA, we had the members within us, especially the coaches, that is Mr. Ben Mwesigwa and Nsubuga Emmanuel, trained as Futsal refereeing instructors. Nsubuga can now qualify to teach Futsal refereeing locally, and Ben Mwesigwa now qualifies to teach Futsal coaching locally, and he helped a lot. At the same time, myself, Jonji Hamza, and Lugema Patrick were taught into Futsal administration as FIFA instructors. So working with the FIFA Education Department, content is being developed to be able to roll out a number of courses, but at the same time there is already content existing with the Pharmaco courses that are used to train administrators. Under finance, we've had continuous financial support through lobbying, especially from FIFA, and within the budget to be presented, we shall see a number of areas where FIFA lends a hand. But the major one that went direct, especially to clubs as our members, last year we had FIFA approved 15 million rolled down as prize money for the Futsal Super League. And we are happy to say the winning team, KJT, walked out with 5 million shillings, and all oppositions now know the amount you get. So this improves the competition and zeal to fight for positions. Again, if you look at media and brand, I take this moment to thank, I don't know if he's in-house here, Mr. Katongole Chiwanuka Keke. Where is Katongole? Please stand and people see you. Is Katongole Chiwanuka? Some of you read the Monitor. I think it is a paper that covers us most. And he has done this work for the last 3 years. Maybe because he's also a sports trained administrator. So we thank you, Katongole, officially, and we really appreciate your support you extend to Futsal, and you help us thank the Daily Monitor. And through the CEO, we are organizing to visit the Daily Monitor and really thank them for what they are doing for us to extend the game. And now we call upon all clubs, like CEO said, let's work with the gentlemen so that we generate content that can be shared, clubs content to the masses. We want to thank FIFA still. Last year, Futsal as a game got a slot in the Airtel FIFA Awards, where now every year our Player of the Year is awarded by FIFA. The finalists normally have 3 nominees. All of them walk out with monetary money prizes, although the best player walks away. All I know, the best I think walked out with 3 million shillings last year, and the other 2 nominees each walked away with 1 million shillings. This money goes direct to players, and it's something that is motivating them. The best talent last year was Mutiaba Travis, who is now with Sports Club Villa. Then we had Mwonge Najib, who is with the KJT, I think he's the captain. And we also had a younger talent from Big Talent, Tumwesije Shafiq. Then would like to thank FUFA TV for working with us tirelessly to see that the game grows. At the moment, they are covering the game live. They are covering the assembly live. They are having a lot of content from us. And all clubs here, we have a gentleman, Ivan, there. We need the clubs to start working with Ivan to generate club content. And when it is generated, still it can be shared to clubs for promotional purposes. Partnerships, we are able to work closely with Elite Medical Center. I don't know why Dr. Kamara is not yet here. These were able to aid us to provide match day treatment to players throughout the league. And I know discussions along the way to have him on a long-term partnership. However, still, Elite Medical Center will go ahead and train team doctors once in a while, especially in first aid treatment. So all futsal clubs, please, let's identify doctors you work with. Elite Medical Center will be engaging them and guiding them better, but they will continue to provide first aid services on all match days. Still, we are able to strike a partnership with Oteka Media. It is headed by a man called Daniel Okwi. He's not here because of a tight schedule. And this man majorly guides us on how to look smart in all aspects we do. Our documentation, as you see it on your phone, and even us, he guides that now this year you need to look like this. And he's helping us a lot look better every year with guiding us into modern brand trends. At the same time, Lumatic Technologies, these ones now are supposed to develop all our digital properties and even club properties. Very soon we shall have a session. We encourage all clubs to identify IT-oriented people. They will be trained on how to grow our digital properties. Then Lumatic Technologies will take it upon to always carry out analysis and share with us reports, how they are growing and how they can grow better. So those are partners we have. Competitions, Futsal Super League concluded successfully and with clear prize money. Then we also had the Futsal Executives Tournament. This one takes place annually in Kabalagala, but now we are trying to shift it to a proper surface. With this one, we work with an agency called Sports Age Limited, and they organized a Futsal Executives Tournament, which you may call corporate, which attracted around 8 companies, of which Centenary Bank walked away as winners. When it comes to national teams, FUFA approved the name Nile Cranes for the men's senior national team, and this is now we focus on now FUFA approving technical staff. And for your information, they are gazetted Futsal International Friendly Dates, which we've shared with FUFA. So we are likely to begin having our national team players engaged in international and local friendlies, so that by February 2024, we have a team ready to take the mantle at the continent. Then opinion leaders, we are blessed the whole of this year on all our match days. We used to have sports opinion leaders attend all our games. Special thanks to Mr. Katende David from National Council of Sport, FUFA EXCOM member Biamukama for attending the finals. We had ANOCA chairman and president, Mr. William Blick, passed by. We had Mr. Don Rukale, the chairman Uganda Olympic Committee. We had House president, Madam Kabenge Penina, and the USPA president, Kanyomo's Patrick. All attended all our match days. And the ideas they gave us are part of the activity calendar to be presented today. Via futsal facilities, as FAO, we've gone ahead and engaged private investors or private businessmen on encouraging them on the right facility. We have a challenge in the country. We realize investors have money for sport, but they are putting up very many facilities with AstroTurf. So now we are trying to reach out to all of them to tell them that to help the game grow, they rather adopt the right flow. As I speak now, in the country, we have few places with the right facilities. Among the few, we have African Bible University in Lubowa with a wooden floor where the referees, I think, did their course. We have Old Kampala Arena, a facility that belongs to Mukuru Matovu Saddam, where we play our league. We have Twin Brooks International School Chitezi. It has the right floor. And we also have St. Nazareth on Masaka Road, where even the netball team normally grows and comes towards. So those are people we really thank for putting up such facilities. Now, we call all upon you. We are trying to develop a contact list of all sports investors. We are trying to organize a symposium, and we are able to guide them to a trend that is to help sport grow into the country. And it's something we are hard on. This year we expect to have a list down. I don't want to overemphasize the challenges of the turf, but clearly the turf, all of you here who play football, you know what has happened to you after 1 or 2 years of playing. So overuse of the turf damages the knee ligaments. So it is a risk, and I know in the future, apart from a few facilities, especially FIFA set up facilities like Lugogo, and they have clear expiry dates, whereby after that date you must put a new one. Now when it comes to private investors who invest for business purposes, they don't mind the expiry date. But I know very soon, within 5 years, the Ministry of Health will come out to guide, because I know 5 years from now we shall have more men go for knee surgeries than ever. Then it will be. So we are saying, as a family here, can we try to come up with a list of people we think want to invest in such ventures? Then we have a dialogue for better health and better sport in the country. But we thank all people that have gone ahead to put up facilities, and now I'm happy to inform all of them that put up, at least now the demarcations really show that they are looking at the futsal game, because in the first the demarcations were also reflecting football. So those are things within the report we are proud of where we are. It does not mean that we don't have challenges. It's unfortunate the CEO has moved out briefly, but this we push out strictly to him. We appreciate the financial support coming down, but there is a need for more financial support. There is a need for more financial support. And I know with all of my members, we really need more financial support from the Federation to ease the work. We normally say this financial support can come in the form of parameter-based, with a clear guideline that when you do this, you're entitled to this, so that we're able to evaluate who we are for the good of the game. So when he comes back, still we shall remind him there is a need to push for more money coming down to futsal and other special interest groups, so that we are able also to push hard. And I call upon you here, all of you, why I invited Mukurudeo specifically. Beach soccer is among the special interest groups, and out of the 8 special interest groups, 2 are major games, that is beach soccer and futsal. Then all others are a true representation of special interest groups. They represent people, because remember in sport we need referees. That's why we have that group. We need men. I don't know why we don't have men something. And we need women. We need youth. At this moment in time, we as special interest groups, we have beach soccer representing us at the, is it this year in September, October, at the CAF Africa Beach Soccer Championship. And if they can make it to the finals, semi-finals, finals, they will automatically qualify for the World Cup. The last edition, they were eliminated at semi-final level, and I know they can make it. So that's why we are saying, at this year, it is beach soccer in there. 2024, we are going for AFCON. So we need a unified voice. We need more money to come down to the special interest groups CEO, financial support that is parameter-based, because we believe you are giving us support, but we need more. And now this will help represent all other special interest groups, because I know even at the continent, there are youth games. For instance, Anoka has youth beach soccer, youth futsal, even Olympics. And we believe if we have more money trickling down into all these competitions from under 12, every year we shall have very many youth representing the country. So this is a call from all of us here in-house, Mr. CEO, that we appreciate the financial support coming down and any other support, but we call for more financial assistance. For evaluation, you can make it parameter based, that when you do this, you're entitled to this. This will ease growth from all stakeholders of the game. So with those remarks, I conclude my submission and revert back onto the agenda items, of which the next one, after the presentation of the report, we have to move to number 11, that is presenting the consolidated and revised balance sheet. This goes to the CEO to guide us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the presentation of the consolidated and the revised balance sheet and the profit and loss statement, I would like to invite Mr. Eden Sebude, Victor, that is the EXCO member in charge of finance.
So Mr. Victor, we shall call you, but all eyes should be on our phones. We have that, because I think the phone presents it well in a smaller version, which you can, as he gives us a summary. Mr. Victor, you introduce yourself fully, especially facing the camera. You're going to be strategic.
You're going to come to presenting, You're going to come to presenting,
Anti mumanyira bijja kudde Victor agenda kozesa eddakiika nze mumanyi era tuweko. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Victor Eden from Nigeria, and an EXCO member of the finance. So I'm here to present the financial statements for the year ended June 2022. And I'll request to present profit for us for the year. So before you on the screen is the income statement showing the revenues and expenses incurred by FAO over the financial year. FAO was able to raise 12.571 million, basically from membership of the 8 clubs that attended the league, and some little money coming in from training sessions and some little support programs. Out of it, they spent 2.6 million and training. Then the competitions, they were able to spend 8.4 million, and other operating costs incurred were worth 993, having a surplus of 536.
618. That's how the revenues were raised and they are spent by FAO. Then before you, the statement of assets and liabilities, which is the balance sheet for the year. The property of FAO is worth 1.97 million, that's in terms of furniture and some computers. Then they have receivables outstanding, which is 11.5. That money mainly is from some funds that have overdue payments. And in their cash and bank, they had 650,000, giving a total of 14.2 million in terms of assets. The share capital power is worth 1 million and retains surplus apart. Apparently, they have certain PPC of 3.659 million and outstanding payables worth 16.8. That's the money that they have to pay out due to the activities that they are incurring apparently. Also giving us a total of 14.2 in terms of liability. Lastly, I would like to present the opinion of the auditors in consideration of FAO's performance. And I think I can only state paragraph 2, where the auditors propose that in their opinion, the company in respect to the company financial statement, Futsal of Uganda as a 30th June 2022. And this financial performance and the financial performance of its cash flows for the year ending in accordance with the National Financial Reporting Standard. FAO had a fair financial performance over the year, subject to some few improvements that we advise to the export that will be taken care of. Thank you, members. That's all I can say about the performance of FAO for the year.
Thank you, Mr. Sebode.
Not to simplify
maybe to retaliate on what he had said, we still have challenges here and there. We have members, especially the clubs, that still owe us a lot of money, as you can see, as he has presented in our trade receivables. So we call upon members to make good of your financial obligations. So we pledge to take on the recommendations of the auditors to see that financially the association is a going concern. Thank you, Mr. Sebode.
Okay. Presentation of audited books done, but a major highlight. If you look at the total revenues we collect, it is a reflection their properties we have not yet exploited. I don't know if I'm Mr. Vikita, I'm right, because if we are still collecting less money, there are higher chances that we are over-reliant on volunteers at all levels and donations. So starting next season, we shall try to open up more properties that can bring in what? Money, so that we attain. But why do we normally accept this? We came up with a policy of operating within our means. We don't do anything without understanding where we are going to get money from. However, me personally have tasked the ExCom to brainstorm and we open up more properties and also do away with some properties that we think can be developed better by other entities. That way, we shall see our books improving every year for better finances, because we know with the financial growth, there are signs that all parties involved and members are enjoying a bit of it. At this moment in time, we need to move a motion, if members, from members to approve the presented financial reports or the audited books of accounts. And I know within this room we have very many account-based people. It is always better these account-based people take the lead, because we normally think they have understood better. So mukuruzira Baker. Camera, we have a camera inside there.
I've looked through the accounts, and I think we have better presentation actually. And they are well presented, and I move a motion that we pass them as per this meeting. My name is Abu Bakr Mayaka Kakule. I'm the competitions director and also director of Uganda Futsal Club, the first Uganda Cup champions. You look guys down.
So I'm glad to inform members that Mr. Kakule is a certified accountant and runs books of various forex bureaus. So if you need his assistance, that is available. At the same time, EXCOM member Victor is a certified accountant and the SCCA holder and the trainer nowadays, because I normally see him training people, and works with Evlo certified accountants. So we need members to second, then we are able to move. Yes, Mr. Mbazira Musa, Kabawayek. The camera is behind you, they want to see you outside there, yes. You make sure at least they capture it.
Thank you, President Musa, the chairman for your support. I second the approval. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Again, to all members, we are privileged to have various politicians in this room. Mr. Mbazira Musa is the speaker, Rubaga. So he's a very good politician and represents us, some of us who reside in Kaboa Central at LC3 level, and is the owner and chairman, Yek Kaboa Futsal Club. Next on the agenda, after presentation of consolidated and revised balance sheet, we have the budget. So Mr. Rugema, can we have the budget on display? And especially people must be able to see the budget notes. I believe they are notes, because I think when they read through the notes, it makes them understand better. So first, please show them the budget notes so that they are able. But still, on our phones, this is there. For members, you read through the budget notes. Then we have the CEO summarily telling us what the budget represents, especially the source of money and how it will be spent. It's the most important aspect.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we can look at the budget, the first table we have it is the FAO Financial 2020-2023 Income and Expenditure Budget Estimates. So I must stress these are projections, these are estimates. The first table we have the income budget estimates. In the first column we have the funding source, and the second column we have the amount in Uganda shillings. The first source is the FUFA Futsal operational support, and the projected amount here is 40 million. Here I must stress how we get to the 40. So currently, the support that we get from FUFA annually amounts to 35 million, and the breakdown is we have the 15 million that is added as prize money to the clubs. Then we have the 10 million that is spent on the referees, and then we have the annual operational support of 10 million that directly goes out to FAO. So this amounts to 35 million, but however, if you can look at the income budget highlights, here we are going to request from the Federation a proposed increment of 5 million to help us facilitate the easy running of the operations. The next item, the next funding source is the FAO membership subscription. At the moment, as I speak, this is a revenue source that we have not yet explored, but we intend to explore starting this financial year. And our proposed membership fee is 300,000. This is going to be annual per member for the 17 members. So this is how we get to the UGX 5.1 for the FAO membership subscription. The next revenue source that we intend to explore is the FAO club licensing fees. This year we are going to change the model a little bit. In the previous seasons, each club has been paying licensing fee of 1 million shilling. But this year we intend to change the model that instead of licensing the club, we intend to license the individuals. What do I mean? We license the player, we license the coaches, etc. So here what we propose here, what we did work out with the numbers. This season we had 8 teams, but there is a proposal from clubs to increase these teams to 10. So if at all this proposal is granted, the assumption is each team will have 20 licensed members. So that amounts to 200 participants. And in the interest of making the process easier on the clubs, we propose a licensing fee of 5,000 per license. So 5,000 times the 200 participants, that amounts to 1 million shilling. Then the next revenue source is the FUFA Futsal Movement Support. Majorly this is to help to focus on the grassroots projects, that is taking the game to the primary schools, the secondary schools and the universities. Here the model we intend to use is we plan to have tournaments, both girls and boys, at primary levels, at secondary levels and at university levels. And also we intend to have 2-day galas at all the sections. And here the projected funding from FUFA to run these activities is 70 million. Then the next funding source that we are going to explore is the capacity building programs. Here, as the chairman mentioned earlier, here we focus on the 3 areas of coaching, refereeing, and administration. So here we intend to organize 2 coaching courses, 2 refereeing courses, and 1 administration course. And in each of these courses, our targeted number of participants per course is 30 members. And we intend to charge 300,000 per course. So for the 5 courses, our projected numbers will be 150 participants. We multiply that by the 300,000 that is going to be charged per participant. That is how we get to the 45 million. Then the next source is others. If you look at the notes, others here we are talking about sponsorships. We intend to engage sponsors. So basically we believe if at the level that we've gotten, at the level we have taken the sport, if we engage the sponsors and partnerships, minimally we can be able to raise 30 million help in financing our activities. So all in all, our projected income for the financial year 2022-2023 is 191 million shillings. And the next table, the expenditure budget estimates. Basically here we show the planned allocation of the above resources. So this is how we intend to allocate the projected revenues. So first, in the first column we have the cost drivers for the departments. Then the second column we have the amount in Uganda shillings. The first cost driver is administration. Basically here we talk about the operations of the FAO Secretariat. This is to enable the Secretariat to carry out the day-to-day operations of the association. Here the allocated amount is 25 million. Then the second cost driver is communication. Basically here we look at media, public relations and advocacy, and the allocated amount here is 3 million. Then the next cost driver is competitions. Basically here we're looking at the league, the Futsal Super League, the Uganda Cup. We are looking at the licensing process and the club supervision, and the allocated amount is 40 million shilling. Then we have futsal development. This is 70 million. I talked about where we tend to engage the futsal development programs in the primary schools, secondary schools, and universities. So that is futsal development, 70 million shilling. Then we have governance. Governance here we talk. This is where here we talk about compliance, regulations, and stakeholder confidence. So to ensure that we improve our governance structures and performance, here this has been allocated an amount of 10.1 million shillings. Then marketing, here we have brand strategy, sponsorship, and events management. Basically, this is what we tend to invest so that we are able to generate funds. The process of getting sponsors, improving the brand and etc. This has been allocated 20 million shillings. Then membership, here we talk about the support to members. The clubs, it is another members, and this has been allocated 23 million. Then we have the office of the chairman to facilitate the smooth running of the programs of the chairman, because we know it gets with a lot and has quite a lot of this plate. This has been allocated 20 million. So which gives us a projected total of 191 million.1. So that is how we intend to allocate the projected revenues. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, CEO, for the presentation. As I said, what will help us understand better the budget breakdown is reading through the notes. At the moment, we project our items to run around 191 million shillings for this upcoming year, with major source FIFA, because FIFA links us to FIFA, and some activities FAO can do to project money. And we intend to use the same money wholesomely. Of recent, I was told, I had visited Mr. Bachika's office. This money, they said, must be used. It must be used, because this is not a non-profit making. So we don't expect questions like, but now we want to use the whole sum. Our role is that whenever they give you money, you must use it. But all our members now, especially schools, we need your help. Schools, especially primary and secondary, and even universities, especially in you guiding us better, the best way we can have games. Remember, our education system is funny. There are schools that say we can't play in third term, yet the very schools say work without play. So it is a confusing aspect. But Futsal as a body, we are not only looking at having tournaments. We want to see how we can have a league spread out. Then on a school aspect, we want to see how we can have internal leagues, that is inter-class or inter-something. Then this can culminate into a skill league. So the major task to schools, what's wrong if these boys and girls play in third term? So that is something for debate and discussion. Why are we closing out people for almost 2 months? Normally PLO is November. So they can't play in September and October? Or what of P6 and P5? So it is something we need to discuss and understand. But as Futsal Association Uganda, we prefer a league format where we are able to monitor. Why are we saying this? 2026, we have Youth Olympic Games. Youth Olympic Games welcome players below the age of 17. To perform well at those games, you must have kids that have played for some time. So if we are to play in those games, we must make sure 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds start playing 2023. Playing a 1 day or 2 day gala won't help these boys understand the game better. Meaning we must welcome schools ready to risk and have the league. Even if they are 8, we pull these talents together. The very schools draw the calendar because they understand their calendars better. And we have it monitored so that by 2026, we have 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds that can represent the country. And these games abroad, we'll have futsal, beach soccer, football, everything for the youth. But for this matter, me, I'm focused on futsal. At this moment in time, I would like to introduce to you the chairman, Somali Sports Association. Stand up a bit and you are seen. Mr. Gali. Why normally we welcome Somalis here? Because if you move around the town and the country, these people enjoy more of this game than any other. And we're happy to report they have a number of futsal competitions they do within their community, and they report to us, and we send referees. As I report now, we have 2 FUFA trained futsal referees with the Somali origin, and they officiate in the FSL and at the same time within their very games. So thank you very much for coming to this session. At this moment in time, I also welcome Mr. Munobe Alex. Thank you. Mr. Munobe Alex is an administrative consultant and sits on the board of Express Football Club, but he picked interest into this game, so I had to welcome him here. Through our interactions as the leadership with the Canadian futsal body, how they have managed to develop futsal, they have adopted the 3-pillar model. They have youth futsal, the professional futsal, that is the leagues playing professional level, and they have what they call the legends futsal, where they encourage all older men and women who still want to play to have their own kind of national competitions for fitness and health. But remember, the more we have 40 plus people playing, you are moving closer to decision makers. So the more that you play your game, there are higher chances that when you are chasing something. So we still have that drill. With the Canadian futsal, we are planning to have now the legends version, where you're able to come and see Mr. Deo Mutabazi scoring a goal, and now we are tasking Mr. Munobe Alex to guide us into that direction. And we have it roll off in the country, where we have a number of older people playing futsal all over the country. Thanks for coming to this session. So without forgetting, we had the budget from the CEO, and to move to the next agenda item, we need a motion to approve and also second us to have it adopted as an idea or aspect we need to push and have all these activities. The activities I know in the calendar schedule, we have the Futsal Super League, we have secondary schools games, primary schools games, UEFA futsal competitions, trainings here and there, and international friendlies that are well gazetted within that calendar. So we need someone to move a motion to adopt the budget, especially a member. Mr. Kaweya Dinan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Directors, I hereby wish to move the motion that the budget proposal be adopted.
So we need the seconders to the motion. Mr. Isaac from ASCA.
Good morning, members. Isaac Okimo, CEO, ASCA, and I hereby second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. We would like also to thank Mr. Isaac. His person originates from Karamoja and picked interest. He does a number of projects in Karamoja where he has adopted using the 5-a-side format to try to promote various aspects. At the same time, he's a well-trained sports administrator with UOC. So next on the agenda, item 14, appointment of the auditors. But those with the minutes especially, this is not applicable for this because in the first AGM we had, it was approved, if you read through the minutes that were passed, that the very company will do all our books for the next 3 years. So they have 1 year to go. So the item does not apply for this AGM until next year, where we shall be able to assess them and see if we get others, if members are not convinced. Next item, which is item 15, CEO admission for membership.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No members applied seeking admission, and on the basis of that, I'd like to say that this item is not applicable.
Thank you. We've not had people submitting formally that they want to be admitted as members of FAO. So that takes us to the next agenda item. Vote on proposals for amendment of statutes. I believe at this moment we received some proposals that impact on our statutes. CEO, the proposals we received that really impact on our statutes, we have to read them out to members so that they are able to deliberate on them, especially in the area of membership. There were proposals. Yes. So I will call upon CEO to read especially proposal 1, proposal 2. I will throw some highlight around them so that we are able to make a decision on them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The received proposals. Proposal 1 is proposal to amend membership statute to make sure all members are represented by 2 delegates, of which 1 must be a lady or woman. Then the second proposal, if the above is approved, if proposal 1 is approved, then women membership is scrapped off completely as men and women are to be equally represented. The third proposal is that the Futsal Super League top division to fully refer to both men and women top division futsal competitions.
So this is something that came up. To throw more light, item 1, we have a composition of membership where we have women represented directly as women for gender sensitivity issue. Now all members here have been having 2 delegates. When you talk of youth, they're supposed to have 2. Everyone 2 delegates. So where the proposal saying we can have a change in our statutes, and from the beginning it is clear that all members to the FAO assembly must have 2 delegates, of which 1 must be a woman. What does it mean now? Men and women will be represented equally, because in every aspect we shall have a male and a female. And now another person is raising an issue. Now, what would be the value or importance of having again women represented? Meaning that if we approve that all aspects are represented by 2, 1 man, 1 female, then we go down and scrap off what we call women representation, because all of us will be equal. I don't know if it is understood clearly. So with the ExCom can't decide anything now. Our role is done. So if you are into it, there is a hand.
My name is Dorothy, and I really support and the proposed motion because, as we say in vow, we don't want to be discriminative in nature. So if we start saying men, women, and so on, that is the term that is really discriminative. So we are saying if we have every department having a man and woman, it's better that way. Thank you.
So Madam Namugenyi, as expected, moves a motion that we adopt the change. Now we need the seconders. Why it's better they are men. Or women can second the same. So men now, what is your view? Yes, Mengo.
Total disagreement with I'm in total disagreement with the motion that she wants to pass. I believe at the stage that we are, it would be best to maintain the status quo that we have. Maybe within the future development of the game, we can make that. It is quite broad. It's not something that can easily be done like that. That's my opinion. So I don't think
that's Mengo FC's opinion. He believes it's a good idea, but not now. Mr. Isaac.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I about both my colleagues share, but I will stand and say if we have to develop the game, we really need to engage all parties. And basically, if we look at how things move nowadays, we need the female also to be part and parcel of this game. They are always being neglected, and the only way to bring them on board is to make them feel the passion, drive them into the game, don't so easy, but let's see how we can attract them. I, for one, I wouldn't want us to look in terms of the financial bit of it. Yes, it's a challenge, but we need to bring them on board. And I do agree with my partner that let's have this female on board, let's try to encourage them, and work together to see that they can even bring more of their partners to the game. Thank you.
Mr. Lubega.
Good morning once again. My name is Lubega Robert. According to what the ESCO has told us, or what the SAT has given to us, that from the start, each group is represented by two people. That is a male and a female. Then when we say that we are having an independent female to represent the women, that means it will require us also to have an independent male to represent men. So I would go, let's look into the women you would have, because each group has to be for a male and a female, and those ones will help us to develop the women also. Thank you.
You are.
So I'm supporting my sister.
It confused me a bit. Mr. Katumba, you want to say something?
Katumba James, representation. I'm representing the secondary school. What I'm proposing also, now that we are encouraging to have a male and a female team, it is of no harm if we have representation of both a male and a female, and we scrap off that. I'm in support of Dolphin game. And I suppose we go there.
So you second the idea. I'm Kuruma. Have you changed the position? Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. When we fail to agree, we shall go to the vote. But what we want to emphasize, the women futsal committee will remain. But why are we saying so? Those who are here from the beginning, we emphasize that even futsal league clubs must start the journey of developing women clubs. I'll give you an example. We have a crisis, I'm sorry to refer, but normally as the futsal body we try to pick lessons from football, the positive, and all of you watch European football. And outside there, all of them have been forced to have women teams. And it is more hectic when all along for 20 years you've put energy in developing your man's team or men's team. Then out of the blue send yes Satura. That within 2 years, and I think even in football, is it CAF competitions? Teams later to represent the country, you must have a proof you have a women's what? Now we are saying, already we've seen signals of what is coming in the future. Why don't we start now? Naturally, however much the owner or the delegate, for instance, Park FC here, you're a man. It would be better in the future, next assembly, the other assembly, we have Park here well represented, a woman, and so that the woman representing Park is here to see that women futsal grows as the man concentrates, than sending Mukuru Kale Jatone to report about his women team all the time. Naturally, women understand girl needs better, and even they will guide your decision making, even at club level. But we are simply saying each club still, as we grow, will start at under 12. So all we need is that woman who sees that the club grows. So as per the views, I don't know, but I think we'll go to the vote. But views have been given.
Give him a chance. More chance.
So we're going to have more 3 people giving views, then we conclude this. Mukuru Karisa, say something.
Yeah, good morning everyone. I think I'm in line with my colleague from Member City. We need to properly understand this. It is a good gesture to have the ladies involved, but should it be a deterrent for us to go forward? Should it be something, should it be a condition that we must, at this level we are at? I think that is the question that needs to be asked.
Okay. When it is approved and passed, then we go and draw out a clear plan on how to have it implemented.
Well, the why is rhetorical. The thing is, if approving it is going to be easy, because I mean, already 4 people are saying yes. But do we really understand what it takes to really put it into practice?
That can be good through trainings. That's what happens. The moment the government passes something, they put a clear plan to make sure we understand how to implement it.
Exactly. So maybe before we even go to the proposal and everything, we would want to understand what is our government willing to do down there.
Mukuru Mbazile.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Maybe we should give it a try. And we see the modalities of doing it after the assembly. Because if we say that we don't try it, yet we want to have the national men's team, and the requirement is to have the women team, that means we are not focusing on 2024 that we are talking about. So let us try it, but as we go, let us try to see the modalities of doing it to be effective and to make sure it doesn't affect us.
Thank you. One more person, Victor.
I think it's a good idea.
that can we look at our consumer fighting because of that ability. This is the right stage that we have in cover today. All can live our club. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We shall have Victor say something, then we shall have Mr. Jeffer conclude. We make a move.
Thank you very much, Chairman. To all my colleagues who own clubs and those who are involved in sports. This issue of women apparently is unavoidable. There are two options. Either you have, as you saying that the competitions are telling you that you have to engage with the women if you are going to be part of the competition, but still it's also affecting on the financing side. If you've got the chance to deal with the international funders and some other funders will deal, many will not let you deal with you if you are not sure that you want to aspect. So you must either provide proof that you have a plan to engage with them or you have them. So I think we just need to get to terms with this thing of equality. If we are in sport, we can't avoid it, whether we like it or not. That's a fact. Either you die out naturally because you are failing to adhere to the situation, or you stay alive and deal with them. That's mine.
Thank you, Mr. Jeffer. Senganda. Send the microphone up front.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. In fact, for me, when I saw the title, what came to my mind was that we need also to amend the title Chairperson. That is yes. I'm a teacher, but I'm also an advocate. I run Muslim Center for Justice and Law. So I know gender mainstreaming is part and parcel of the agenda of all government partners. So there's no way we can avoid women in the running of sports if we want to attract funding. When you took us through Mr. Chairperson, I saw that we can even run a number of campaigns through Futsal. For example, menstrual hygiene is a challenge in schools, and there's no way you can talk about these issues when, or in case we organize a campaign through Futsal soccer in schools, and our thing is about the girl and menstrual hygiene. There's no way you can use boys to do that advocacy, so we need to get the girls. So the voice of the girl child is important in sports, and the earlier we begin, the better. We got some funding from GIZ, sports for development. They have a project called Sports for Development. I think some of you have heard it. GIZ is a German development agency. It's like USA for the Americans. And their interest is inclusion of girls and children with disability. So if we want to grow, I know the fears of some of these members, that one, they don't see the women that they are going to use to represent. But let us hope for them, let us empower them. The returns on investment will be much higher. If you cannot go to any development partner minus the girl child on board. Thank you.
Thank you for your submissions. Let's have order in the room. Let's have order. I think we've concluded. We have enough justifications for taking a route. Can I have hands of people against the move? Can I have hands up for people against the move? So it is only 1, 2. So we take it that majority accept the move and we adopt it. Thank you for your deliberation. So we shall have a number of amendments within our guidelines indicating clearly that women are to be represented. We are going to work with FUFA and other women agencies to see that it trickles down to all members to understand it better and the benefit it brings. So we had another proposal in there, but it will come to another item. So what does it mean? We are going to change the definition of the Futsal Super League. We are not saying that next year the Futsal Super League women will start, but still we shall develop a worker plan of a particular year. But whenever we talk of Futsal Super League, we are reflecting that there is also women what? Then we lay strategy until the time we have this done. So there was another proposal from members. I think we can handle, is it item 16 at once here? There was another proposal to increase the Super League clubs from 8 to 10 because this has an impact on the membership.
Item 21.
Is item, yeah.
21.
So we received a proposal that it's high time we increase the number of teams from 8 to 10. But this comes to you members. Mkurukalisa, let's have order and Namugeni. We are in a meeting. Yes, we are in a meeting. Yes, Mr. Jeffer?
Information, Mr. Chairperson.
Yes.
The interest, I want to take you slightly back. The interest of
the microphone. It's not on.
The interest in the first amendment, before the amendment, was that the club is represented by a man and a
man and a woman.
And a woman.
Not of the first amendment, the original constitution.
No.
Before the amendment.
I don't know. The amendment.
Before the amendment.
All along, for your information, youth are represented directly here with the 2 delegates. But now we are simply saying, each member represented here, 2 members, of which one is a man and one is, yes, that is the guidance. Because naturally here, youth can have 2 men here. Now we are saying, because we are talking of the girl youth playing, it's high time youth goes back and brings a woman. Coaches go back and we have a women coach and men coach. Players go back, we have player, girl, player. That's what we say. So, increasing number of teams in the Futsal Super League from 8 to 10. It is a proposal that came in, and we need people to guide on this and make a motion and have it seconded. Yes, Mbazira Musa. Give us a voice. You can speak. We shall not wait for.
Thank you, Mr. Person. I propose to vote the motion to extend the league 10 teams and the next league
So we need the seconders. Seconders. Yes, Omar. Your name, Kasumba Karuman, and mind that camera. So I think it is approved. You can give your view, but
Thank you, Chairman, and the all members from here. I think I say 10 days, the second.
okay. I move on. So approved. Next season, after undergoing licensing, we can have the teams increased to 10. So we are going to item number 18. Number 18. Dismiss of a person or a body, if applicable. So CEO, do we have anyone to dismiss?
Mr. Chairman, we do not have anyone to dismiss.
So this is not applicable because we don't have any case that requires dismiss of a member or a person from this assembly. Next agenda item, elections. Normally our election calendar runs with the FUFA calendar, so we don't have any elections today. Election of members on the Audit and Compliance Committee. This is not yet applicable here. The ExCom will come out with a clear plan and name a number of people from the members on a number of committees that will be presented to all of you for approval by next AGM. Item 21, 5 items proposed. At least we've passed this, we combined them, where now the number of teams have increased to 10 from 8 after undergoing club licensing. And this means that we've managed to cover all items on the agenda. However, before I call upon the CEO, allow me welcome Mr. Shafik Chigongo, the CEO or General Secretary, Uganda Youth Football Association. And I'm happy because he's the implementer of youth futsal in UEFA. Now the change comes in. We want to see girls academies playing and the boys academies playing as soon as possible. But we shall come and deliberate on a plan. I don't know if there is any person I've not introduced. Kaira introduced to you. That man writes a lot of news and is ever controversial, but he's welcome to futsal. Allow me also welcome my elder brother, Ajerias Kayondo, to this assembly. Please, Ajerias, wave to people. So within my family, I'm doing a lot of work to make sure. He has been part of us, but I think now he has enough time to actively be part of the game. Again, within my family, that's why I'm saying, please welcome all of your family members. Let me introduce one of the ExCom members, Najuko Sumaya. She has been silent here for gender sensitivity. Please wave to people. She works with the National Water at the same time serving with us here. So I call on, as I conclude this assembly, I thank all of you for having time to pass by and we deliberate the game of futsal. I thank FUFA for always extending a hand, and I believe with the changes, now it calls for more funding, especially I know you've been approving funding for women football, and I know you're in the budgeting season. So since members have said they want girls, and I've seen one of the Super League clubs member concerned with the costs. Through your office, we seek that this is treated with the urgency that futsal Super League clubs are extended assistance to start women futsal clubs and all other aspects of women futsal. Still, send thanks to the FUFA ExCom and all members we work with, especially the Football Development Office, that we appreciate their support and we call for their collective support and we work together for the growth of the game. One major highlight as I conclude this, to all club owners, I'm also a board member and the founding member of the club. I know the cost implication, but we must go and start the journey. Because if we don't start it, later on, it will break us down. So we shall deliberate on how to have this work. And I know it will work, and later we shall appreciate. A big reminder, all of us are working together to have a national team play AFCON, and everyone has a role to play. At the same time, schools and youth, we must have a team 2026. Very soon we are asking FIFA to give a name. So we shall write to you for proposals to have a name for the girls team and the boys team, so that we submit early for their approval. And lastly, let's continue to work together. Let's continue to argue internally until we resolve, as we keep protecting who we are for the better. I can't say anymore, but call upon the CEO to give us housekeeping rules. I know he has prepared lunch. We eat early and the Muslims go for Juma. After housekeeping rules, we shall have a closing prayer and call it a day. We shall have housekeeping rules.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the members that have taken time off your busy schedules to honor our invitation. And we thank you for the time and resources that you put in to see that we are here where we are today. It's been a long journey. We put in a lot of resources, financial, time, etc. So we are going to have good photos. Then after the photos, lunch will be served at the restaurant down. Please don't go minus eating lunch. Then
transport refund on their mobile.
The transport refund is going to be sent on your mobile money. So we've captured your telephone numbers here. For those who have not been able to register formally on our attendance forms, kindly register. Those who registered, we cover the numbers, and the transport refund is going to be sent on your numbers. So that being said, I think we are going to have a closing prayer from Mr. Kali Sakoli Chebe. Thank you.
We are going forward. Closing prayer. Hey, Mukulu Kalisa, Henry. Closing prayer. You can use this one.
Okay, guys, let's have ourselves. Dear good Lord, we thank you for the gift of life, health, friendship, and all the partnerships that have been started today. We thank you for the successful conclusion of the second AGM, and we pray that whatever we deliberated upon be realized into succession. And I pray for the same family for everyone who has attended today. Till the next time, through the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Bwamaze tugende mu foto anti yatuwa order. Microphone. So as the chairman, Futsal Association Uganda, I declare the second annual General Assembly fully adjourned. Thank you very much.
Okay, we shall have a photo moment. We shall have the EXCO member seat. And then...
Okay, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at the Kennedy Hotel in Kampala City for the second General Assembly, and of course it's the climax here. I'll be going in for a couple of comments coming in from the chairman, the delegates from the different dignitaries that are coming to take part of this tournament. We'll be giving you a couple of people who have been here to talk about a couple of issues. We have the chairman himself, Association Uganda. We have the deputy CEO of FUFA. We have delegates, and of course we are trying to gather a couple of moments that will be going live on FUFA TV, your home of Ugandan sport. My name is Doris Panica, and I'll be taking you through on what will be going and transpiring. Of course, I'm looking on to the FUFA Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Samba Chika, to take us through on what he has gotten into this very annual General Assembly. And of course, Mr. Bachika Sam, you're welcome on FUFA TV. Say to the people watching FUFA TV.
Good morning, still morning, I believe. Good morning. I'm happy to be on FUFA TV today, especially here in the FAO Energy Assembly, which has been concluded. It's been a very interesting one, because the deliberations were very active and lively, and of course there were some decisions to be taken which drew a bit of debate, but eventually these were concluded. But again, following their deliberations, it is obvious that they are really focused on moving Futsal to the next level, which is for us a very good thing, because as FUFA, see that all our members are not only moving in the right direction alongside our hat trick, but also to see that their governance structures are also functioning properly. The AGM is the main governance body for all our members, because that's where the members of the members come together to try and move forward the agenda of the member association. So in this case, the EXCO has done a good job in organizing this, and I believe they've pulled it off very well, which is a good thing for us, because from my side, especially as person responsible for governance and compliance, it gives me that reassurance that we're moving in the right direction, because governance is a critical element, not only at our level, at the FUFA level of FUFA, but also at our members' level. So it's something that I want to commend the administration at FAO, and also to believe that other members will also follow in the same direction, and will be able to develop football, beach soccer and futsal in the same direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, FUFA Deputy CEO, Compliance, Mr. Samba Chika. He has been the chief guest at this second General Assembly of the Futsal Association Uganda. For starters, Futsal came way back in 2015, and of course we are looking onto a greater heights. I'm looking one of the delegates who has been attending on to this second General Assembly. Actually, is one of my best friends, my comrade. Most of you call him Mr. KJT, Mr. Kabugo Mansour, standing on my extreme left to take us through what he has transpired into this very second General Assembly. Mr. Kabugo, a very good morning. You are live on FUFA TV. You take us through what you think has went into this General Assembly for the second time.
Kabugo Mansour, Director Kampala Junior Team. I'm very happy for this second General Assembly for FAO. I think it's a way to go, because also they implement the child to join the board, so that they keep on improve on the girl child development into football and futsal and beach soccer. I think it's the way to go, to implement the vision and mission of FUFA. We need to bring all the agendas together.
That's Mr. Kabugo Mansour taking us on what has transpired in today's second General Assembly to the Futsal Association in Uganda. And of course, I'm looking forward to getting the chairman Mr. Junju Hamza, Chairman of FAO, to take us through on what has transpired into this second General Assembly. For starters, Futsal is another body. Many of you know the 11-a-side, but of course you have the beach soccer. And again, this is the newborn baby into the football setting. But right about now, what you're seeing through on the screens, that's in the group photo live on FOFA TV. And we'll be going right to look for the chairman, Mr. Junju Hamza, to take us through on what has went through into this meeting. We are live at the Canendia Hotel here at Kaguji Road in the Kampala suburbs of Katwe, and we are live on FOFA TV, your home of Ugandan sport. I'll be giving you some few minutes to come. I'll be looking into, as we're heading into the FOFA General Assembly that will be held in northern Uganda. That will be a few months to come. That will be October the 15th. But of course, these are some of the rules that govern before heading to that final General Assembly. My name is Doris, and of course, that's the group photo right about now. That's what you're seeing onto your screen, the FOFA TV screen. But again, I'll be waiting to call the chairman. But of course, not forgetting some of the members that started a Futsal in Uganda. You can't fail to mention the likes of George Hamza, Lugemo Patrick, and not forgetting Mr. Serogo Payas, one of the renowned journalists. Actually, some of the members that started Futsal in Uganda. And of course, we'll be going on what to look for the chairman to speak to us live on FOFA TV. And again, I'm looking for a certain lady for purposes of gender balance to talk about what went through into the meeting. Of course, hello, you're live on FOFA TV. What's your name? And of course, what do you think as we done to the meeting?
Yes, I'm Namgenyi Dorothy, and yeah, I loved the motion of the gender kind of part where we suggested that at least as we FAO from the start, we always had a motion, and we are always sensitive when it comes to gender equality and inclusion in futsal. And today's motion and today's debate was more on having the women teams play in the futsal league. So many of the club members were opposing the motion, and at the end of the day, gender equality is the motion that is at the stake. So as a person, I would, my zeal is to see the Futsal Women League on board, as we have the Super League of women teams and women playing the national top league of football. So as gender inclusive people and advocates of gender in sports, we believe that having the Futsal Female League will be a total I would say a total display of gender equality and gender inclusion in futsal as a federation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's the lady that moved the motion about the gender equality to introduce the Women Futsal League in Uganda. But of course, surprisingly, that won't be this season, but of course in some few seasons to come. And of course, we are waiting for the members to talk about what went down into this meeting. I'm looking for the chairman, but of course, is right into the group photo, but he will be joining me around this podium in a few moments to come, and we are live on FOFA TV, your home of Ugandan sport. This is the second annual General Assembly to the FOFA Association on the side. We'll be going in down to the regions. We'll be going to the special interest groups to give you live what has transpired. I've morning chairman here, right on my right hand side, Mr. Junju Hamza, chairman for Association Uganda. Mr. Junju, how are you feeling today? The General Assembly is done, the second of its kind. What else to the people watching FOFA TV?
First of all, I'd like to thank all the people supporting the game of futsal, especially our members, the club owners, and the special interest groups, and FOFA at large. This is our second milestone, and we're able to organize our second annual General Assembly. We have had deliberations from members, of which we run the game with. And from what you've seen, we are working as a team, as a unit, to see that the game grows. And we promise better and better year in, year out.
Some of the highlights that went through down into this meeting that you can try to tackle into this small interview before you head into other activities.
One was the budget. At least all members approved the budget. This year we intend to use around 191 million Uganda shillings. Members approved it. Then members were able to approve our audited books of accounts, and from here now we are going to submit the books to FUFA for further review to guide us better in the way we manage our finances. And the most important of all, members approved a segment and a change in our statute where every aspect and member from today onwards will be represented by 2 delegates, of which one must be a woman, bringing our membership to 50%, 50%. 50% men, 50% women. And I believe we are the first to achieve this, where all members really approve that we need the women gender in developing the game.
Yes. About that, the women gender, talk about introducing the Women's Super League to the futsal side. How about that? FUFA TV, if you want to know about when will you start at the FUFA Women's Super League side to the women's category, and what are your plans about at that very category?
Yeah, working with the FUFA and specifically the women UEFA, we intend to have this implemented. But for starters, we are working with all SIGs, especially the youth, the referees, to start with at junior levels. So we are going to give ample time to young ones associating with the game, and by the time they are adults, we shall be able to make it formal that now we have a Futsal Super League women segment. It will take us another 4 years, but the journey to achieve it is going to start with girls growing from down upwards. And I believe by 2028, we shall be able to fully launch it, having full-grown girls playing at that level.
Chairman, about the national team's upcoming programs.
National team. Yeah, 2024 is CAF Futsal Africa Cup of Nations, and we've laid out programs which we've shared with the FUFA. FIFA calendar clearly shows gazetted international friendly dates. We've submitted this to FUFA through the national team's office and manager, and it is for presentation. And we believe FUFA will give us a hand. We have, at least now we have the name in place. We know FUFA EXCOM has to approve our coaches for the national team. Then from there, within our data bank, we already have summarized talents we believe can represent the country, but we can't do that without coaches. So we call upon the FUFA EXCOM very soon to clear us onto that task. Then the coaches will be mandated to start training programs for the identified players, so that by 2024 we are ready for AFCON.
Thank you so much, Chairman Futsal Association in Uganda, Mr. Junju Hamza. That has been the day today, live at the Canadian Hotel, live here at Kaguji Road. But of course, Mr. Junju Hamza and Mr. Lugamo Patrick are the 2 delegates that go on and sit to the FUFA General Assembly that will be coming your way in October. You'll be live on FUFA TV, and of course, an applause to the FAO team, of course, FUFA TV, and of course, we'll be going into the normal programming live on FUFA TV in a few seconds from now. But again, this is your home of Ugandan sport. I'll be getting one other delegate coming in from Park FC. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you today?
A quick one on what has transpired today into this second General Assembly.
Sorry?
What do you have to say about the second General Assembly today?
Good strides made. Good strides made. So we hope to be in position to see everything that we've agreed upon, not deliberated upon, to actually taking place. So this time around, we feel like we are more included, and we are excited about the prospect.
A quick one about increasing the teams from 8 to 10. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it was always our prayer. We as clubs requested for that. So if it has been passed again, then it makes for a better league. 8 teams are quite few, and I mean, if we are now to go and play a league that lasts 6 months, then we cannot have 8 teams again. 10 is a good start. It's a bargain, but I think we should even aim to go back to 14.
Thank you very much. A delegate coming in from Park Football Club side. But of course, that's it for today. Viewers coming in from different parts of the country, watching us live on the YouTube channel. I can't forget my comrade coming in from the Somali community. How are you, sir? A very good morning. And of course, you're live on FUFA TV. What do you have to say about this meeting? And of course, how is Futsal moving to the Somali community side?
Thank you, sir. I'm greeting FAO TV
And then Somalis, I'm community of, I'm chairman of community Somalis, and this meeting is a very good general meeting, the second one. And then I say is a thank you, the invitation as for like Somalis, and then I will appreciate. And then I say Somalis, they are playing for the futsal. The modern refugee, the country they are playing for Uganda, futsal, it's Somalis. And then we have many places for the grounds, and then we have many teams, and then as a chairman, we are together to the Ugandan futsalis. So we have teams of Ugandan, they are mixed. That's called, it is a federation teams of Uganda and Somalis. And even we have to play for 11 sets. But the FUFA, futsalis, they are moving a good. And then this community and the members and the chairman, Hamza, all of them, they are good people. And then they will support us like every meeting will be invitation, and then I say thank you, your TV, and nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming in from the Somali community. That will be the end of today's programming, live on Fufa TV, Home Ugandan Sport. Of course, I'll be taking you back to the studios for the normal programming. My name is Lawrence Wanika, and I will be giving you live events that will be coming in your way live on Fufa TV. Of course, your home of Ugandan sport.